allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo.
I actually do apologize. Something got mixed up there. Please let me know if the audio is back on your own screen. Yeah, the audio. I apologize, okay? Something got mixed up. But please let me know if yours is back.
You too. And yes,
once again, thank you so much for joining me. Good morning to you. Greetings, okay? Top of the moment to you. Read the caption of this broadcast, the description as well. Like it, then share it and tell your friends and not so friendly friends that Mayegu Mawi and others Mayegu today. Don't worry, if the audio is lower on your own device or screen, increase the volume. Ruto will fold further was not part of my own expectation. So those of you who have been following the development in Kenya, you've been following the protests, the demands, how the government has been clamping down on them, killing them, kidnapping some of them as well. Then Ruto made a U-turn. He himself rejected the finance bill, the IMF bill. Not just that, he went further to cut down the cost of governance by sacking canceling about 47 agencies, including some of his own personal appointees. All of these were not enough from what the Kenyans are demanding from their government led by Ruto. And this afternoon, he made an announcement. His entire cabinet had to go just to see if he's going to be able to find a common ground. But while he was making that announcement, that is what I want to share with you. So you should share it with others There is so much to grasp from what is happening in Kenya, happening in Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. I will fill in the gap for you. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. Then good evening to you as well, from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegu Live. And our program tonight will start from the development in Kenya, the latest development in Kenya. To those of us who have been following, the events in Kenya, there's nothing much, I don't think I will have to say much, but I can give a recap so that it will be like a catch-up and then the updates. A few weeks ago, the Gen Z Kenyans, they took to the social media, using their own social media skills to educate themselves about the danger that the political class was about to dip them into. And that was the conditions given to their own government by the IMF, World Bank, and other lenders. Kenya was running a deficit national budget, so they had to borrow money. Now, to borrow money to fill in the deficit, so they have to take some conditions too. Horrible slavish conditions. The rest of the country is divided because nobody wanted to really take it up without being tagged, an organized ethnic attack on Ruto, like Nigeria. But the Gen Z sort of became, they call them tribalists. Their reasoning is about their lives, their everyday life, their education, their health care, affordability of all these things that will become unaffordable. 40% of Kenyans will be dipped into poverty. But according to Ruto, back then, it was a sacrifice that all Kenyans had to make. But they rejected it. No, we are not making that. Because we are watching all of you, right? Awarding, number one, creating positions in government that are totally irrelevant. Okay? Most of them duplicate offices just to give jobs to your own friends, jobs for the boys. They had no value to Kenya, but they are drawing money from the national purse. So if there's anyone to make sacrifice, it will be you, because we've been making sacrifices. Ruto called their bluff. Yes. And you know what happened next? The politicians in the country who are on the side of Ruto, they were speaking the same language. That loan was necessary. They had to take the loan, or Kenya is not going to be able to function anymore. They were threatening their own citizens. They were all speaking the same thing, no other solution. You know, the government is trying to save the people, or else, blah, 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 blah. They had to take those money, and they had to pass that slavish bill. Then Gen Z was like, it's like, you are not going to understand. I mean, you are not going to change your mind until we change it for you. So that was the beginning of the whole protest. They killed people. And it became something that they invaded the parliament. They were almost taking over the government house, where Ruto and his own appointees were hiding, sort of holed up, protected. And they've done everything to see if this could bring back normalcy in Kenya. But you see, when Ruto was giving his speech this afternoon, I kind of pick a lot of things from what he's saying, and they are vital. Currently in Nigeria, the food inflation in Nigeria, see, the hardship, the inflation you are suffering in Nigeria is caused by the political class in Nigeria, as well as their supposed partners, international partners. They have no international partners than the IMF and World Bank, and everyone that could give them money. Now, when they give them conditions, they force it on you. Increase tax, increase tariff, increase this, increase that. Businesses were dying. People were losing their jobs. Cost of living crisis gripped Nigeria. Starvation is being people are staring at, monumental starvation that is going to affect over 80 million Nigerians as we speak. All of these are because the criminals in Nigeria accepted all the conditions, slavish conditions given to them while they were taking money from their international partners. Now, these conditions have caused Nigeria to currently be battling with over 40% food inflation. They are battling with what they call the national inflation of over 34%. 34%. Do you know what inflation is in Kenya? 4-point-something%. That's the inflation of Kenya. What is the food inflation in Kenya? It's also a single digit as well, under 10%. Guess what? They rejected any further hardship. Nigerians are enduring that. So I want you to listen to this. Initially, people said those around the Ruto who have become lord over the people that gave them the job. You know, that's what happened. Okay? You will see all these jobless political jobbers, criminals, loitering around, government offices and all of that. They get a job. They are appointed ministers, SAs, PAs, blah, 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 right? And they are drawing money from the purse of the country regularly, most of them uncontrollably, right? But the moment, the people kind of feel like, we deserve better, we want better. These guys will become philosophical. They will become experts on what people deserves, on what people want. They will tell you the government is doing everything, okay, to make sure that, because the government knows what you want. Of course you don't. No, you don't. It's obvious that they don't know or care about what you want, except what they think you should want. You're hungry, give them food. Everything else, tell them to wait. But in Kenya, these are the conditions they rejected. and still rejecting. Now, this is the latest move of Ruto to placate the angry country that feels betrayed by their political class. Ruto's appointees were talking down on the citizens. Like they are on social media, they were talking down on them. You better be careful, watch your mouth. You cannot defeat government. Nobody can fight government. They were threatening their citizens, political appointees. They were speaking in support of Ruto and this rejected slavish bill. And they were threatening their citizens. They were telling their citizens that they knew what was best for them. Billions of their money have been allocated to bogus contracts. Okay? Corruption has gripped them so much. Despite all of that, inflation in their country is just a bit over 4%. And now all of these guys around Ruto, who became experts, professionals on economy, on everything, and the citizens became foolish to them. Oh, Kenyans are stupid. That's the point. You know, you are just making noise. You don't understand government. You don't understand how government work. All of you should understand. Then they will be speaking big grammar, quoting nonsense to make it look like indeed they are doing something. They do that in Nigeria. Kenyans have had enough. Sack these guys, or you will sack yourself. Prior to today, one of their lawmaker in Kenya had this to say.
They're employed, and I will stay for 5 years without having gotten employed, Honorable Speaker. If we want our young people to accept that we are doing anything on employment, we must make this space of employment level playing ground, Honorable Speaker. We say that we have created that percent for our young people. What is happening, Honorable Speaker? Old people are walking around with agopos that they have registered with the names of young people. So our young people cannot access, because when you want a contract in the county government, first of all, they ask for 10%. You don't have it. Once you get the 10%, when they are paying you, they ask for another 10%. You don't get paid. Your money gets to pending bill, and the money that you are depending on is borrowed money, Honorable Speaker. So it then puts you in a very difficult situation. Finally, Honorable Speaker, and I know it may not be very popular at this time to say, Honorable Speaker, what the people of Kenya are asking, the Agriculture Committee of this House, led by Senator James Murango,
2 minutes to wind up your thoughts.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. They went around this country, Honorable Speaker, because fake fertilizer has been sold to our farmers, Honorable Speaker. Fake fertilizer has been sold to our farmers, Honorable Speaker. Now, the committee of this House has gone round. They have invited people here. We even saw them tasting fertilizer here. But 2 months later, they cannot tell us who sold fake fertilizer to the people of Kenya, Honorable Speaker. So what are we doing to our people? And we are calling ourselves the people that have been tasked with the responsibility of playing oversight, Honorable Speaker. Why does it have to take 2 months for you to tell us it is such and such cabinet secretary that sold fake fertilizer to the people of Kenya? Why is it very difficult? And I dare say this, Honorable Speaker, to my dear President, whom I really support. The people of Kenya have given you a blank check. You have now an opportunity, and the people will clap for you, to ensure that you weed out every incompetent cabinet secretary in your government, every incompetent PS in your government. You have an opportunity now. You have an opportunity now to ensure, and I'm very hopeful, Honorable Speaker, because I hear that there was cabinet on Thursday. I'm very hopeful that some people took very nice photos there, because I'm very hopeful they will never get back there, because they are incompetent, they are not able to deliver, and they are just pulling back our President, Honorable Speaker. Since the people of Kenya are employed, and I will stay for 5 years.
You get that? So it was like, you know what? Save yourself now. When you appoint people as a government, if you are not appointing them because you want their loyalty, or you're appointing them because you need them to help you manage a country, bring prosperity to your people, good life, so that they can have the space to pursue happiness, right? So you appoint experts, you appoint people who have something to actually really offer, those who know the job you want them to come and do. So when you now need advice from them, as cabinet secretaries, you want them to speak intelligently, and advise you, because you are going to be the president. You are the one, Abi. So they were supposed to be giving you better advices. But unfortunately in Kenya, like Nigeria, they were just caught jesters, praise singers, ass leakers, who are wearing expensive designers, jewelries, driving expensive automobiles, donating huge cash, huge cash, doing arambis. It's called arambis in Kenya. They are donating cash to religious houses, showing how blessed they have become while the people watch. So what do you do with such people? It's always going to be an opportunity for you to sack all of them. Now, you know those you have in Nigeria, the criminals that, Mr. President vision, Mr. President, when you now listen to the person that said that's the vision, it's always the bala blue. Now, I'm going to take you back to Kenya now. You're going to listen to Ruto. Before sacking his cabinet, he did miss the chance to tell Kenyans what he himself believed he'd been able to achieve. But maybe it is not enough. He said he agrees that this is probably not enough. Now, all of you would have to go. You are not helping me to help Kenya. So they will have to all be thrown under the bus to try to save his head. Now, listen to the president of Kenya, Ruto. And if you are watching from Nigeria, maybe you should be salivating and wish you do have a leader that can actually really articulate and speak, even if he is lying, even if he is exaggerating. But he can articulate his points, what he's been doing, clear enough for you to be able to say, I disagree with that, or I don't disagree with this. But in Nigeria, they will lie straight to your face, saying nonsense, jargons. They want you to go and figure it out, if you understand it or not. Let's go to Kenya. Ruto bidding his own cabinet member farewell. You all have to go now.
By reducing the cost of farm inputs, thereby lowering the cost of food and lowering the cost of living. We have stabilized the economy by preventing what was an imminent debt default. We have stabilized fuel prices, lowered inflation to an all-record low of 4.6%, and we have stabilized the foreign exchange regime. We have implemented radical changes in the education sector, including resolving the CBC question. We have rolled out a new student-focused higher education funding model that has special emphasis on making sure that children from vulnerable families have the requisite support in their education. We have also improved the student-teacher ratio in both our primary and secondary schools by hiring an additional 56,000 teachers and also hiring an additional 2,000 tutors for our TVET institutions. We have equally resolved bottlenecks in cash transfer program to vulnerable Kenyans, including orphans, people living with disability, and the elderly. We have not only brought on board more beneficiaries, but in keeping with the promise that we made, it is now not the case, as it was in the past, that these vulnerable Kenyans have to wait for months. Now their stipends are paid as salaries of public servants are being paid. We did roll out the Hustler Fund that today benefits 2 million Kenyans. And we have 7 million Kenyans who had been denied access to financial services by credit reference bureaus, they are now off the blacklisting roll. Our affordable housing program has now more than 100,000 housing units under construction. The first cohort I will be launching in a couple of months to new homeowners. And we have 160,000 young people across Kenya that are employed under this program. To expand manufacturing, value addition, and agro-processing as a key contributor to job creation, 18 county aggregation and industrial parks and 6 new special economic zones are under construction across Kenya. And at the same time, we have 200 fresh produce markets that are at various stages of construction to support our farmers with access to markets for their produce, in keeping with the commitment we made to our mama mbogas. To accelerate manufacturing, last year we imposed levies on importation of clinker that can be manufactured in Kenya. We made a saving of Kenya shillings 20 billion in foreign exchange as imports of clinker dropped to almost zero. We also imposed levies on imported steel billets. And today, we have 11 steel factories that 6 years ago were closed. They have started operation, hiring 16,000 Kenyans. And last year alone, we saved 120 billion shillings in foreign exchange as a result of this intervention. Our digital transformation agenda is also on course with 17,000 government services online, while we have 274 digital hubs across Kenya with 152,000 students and digital workers in our TVETs and also in digital hubs in different parts, up and running and giving young people an income. Our universal health coverage plan has already onboarded 107 community health promoters, and the process of registration for our social health insurance fund is ongoing, on its way to launch on the new date of 1st of October 2024 that will make it possible for every Kenyan to have a health insurance, and for those suffering from critical illnesses to have access to the critical illness fund, making it possible for every Kenyan to have access to treatment by reducing the cost of farm inputs.
It's a long speech. Don't worry. That seemed that, you could, as a Kenyan, you can take him up on that. Now, he's dealing with a generation that keeps record of everything he's saying. Sometimes when he says things, they quickly counter him and say, no, that's not true. You don't even have the power to do that. So you're just saying it. So Ruto himself can, it's like somebody who is quickly, right, grasping the current reality in this country rather than to suppress it and do everything to crush their will, like anyone else would do in Africa, any of these criminals in Africa. He could continue in that path and break their will. And that's a risk. It is a risk to power as well, because if he intends to break their will and they rake up the country over his head that he has to go. So eventually we lose that power to be able to do whatever he intends to do because he thought he had that power to do whatever he likes. So he will lose it. So somehow he's grasping with the generation he's dealing with. And if there's those he should probably be trying to placate, it will be this Gen Z. It's like somebody who is like in far right or far left. Or you now realize that there is a new generation, okay, that we're neither left nor right. And then what do? You just have to quickly move yourself back to the middle, stylishly. But if you insist that you are left or you are right, now the wave that is sweeping through his country is neither right nor left. So he's finding the common ground gradually. So yeah, I didn't know that Kenyans have health insurance or would have one. By the way, with what we have heard a lot about the Kenyan, government, so to say. I didn't know they have people they are also paying. I mean, who gave them all this idea of sharing money to vulnerable people, poor people, right? Because most of the money they are sharing are mostly money that they borrowed. But somehow he's listing them as part of his achievement in all sectors. And he was pretty much articulate enough to throw out numbers that only Kenyans can tell us if they are true or exaggerated or they are lies. If you want to lie to me, be articulate about it. All right? Look me straight in the face and lie. Look me face in the eyes and straight in the eyes and lie to me. I want to see how good you are. I want you to convince me so that I can know how to take you on. You know what I mean? It's not somebody who just will never really say anything meaningful. We are going to go to Nigeria. You're going to listen to their politicians soon. And you understand that except for some of you Nigerians who always kind of overrate yourselves because they told you are giant of Africa, you are so behind. Your politicians are so behind, honestly. But they feel on top of, in fact, Nigerian politicians sometimes want to feel like they are American politicians, like, yeah, we have this, we have that. When it comes to intelligence, when it comes to like being a proper public officers and all that, a proper politician, you just know that you have garbage that is come back as your political class in Nigeria. And it does. Now, here is the second part, where Ruto had to tell his appointees, we've had enough. The party is over. And then he went on to say, after this, there's still going to be more measures I'm going to take. I want to, I want possibly a cabinet that is now broad-based, not about politics and all of that, even though they have to satisfy all blocks, okay? The political class, the private class, what do you call it? The private sector class, the other, everyone, like even the Gen Z and all of that is now throwing it all out there and say, you know what? Now we would have to pick people who are going to help us fix this country now. Now let's leave all this politics and all that for now. I mean, you would want to believe in. Let's go back there. Now finish what you are saying, Ruto.
Making it possible for every Kenyan to have access to treatment without the burden of having to fund it. On the measures I announced last week, barring state and public officers from engaging in harambes, I want to inform the country that the Public Fundraising Appeals Bill is now ready for publication tomorrow. However, even with the progress we have made, I am acutely aware that the people of Kenya have very high expectations of me. And they believe that this administration can undertake the most extensive transformation in our nation's history. Recent events that necessitated the withdrawal of the finance bill, which will require a review and reorganization of our budget and fiscal management, have brought us to an inflection point. Upon reflection, listening keenly to what the people of Kenya have said, and after a holistic appraisal of the performance of my cabinet and its achievements and challenges, I have today, in line with the powers given to me by Article 1521 and 1525B of the Constitution and Sections 12 of the Office of the Attorney General's Act, decided to dismiss with immediate effect all the Cabinet Secretaries and Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, of the Cabinet of Kenya, except the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs. And of course, the Office of the Deputy President is not affected in any way. I will immediately engage in extensive consultations across different sectors and political formations and other Kenyans, both in public and private, with the aim of setting up a broad-based government that will assist me in accelerating and expediting the necessary, urgent, and irreversible implementation of the program that we have, including other radical measures and programs to deal with the burden of debt, to explore raising domestic resources and revenues, expanding job opportunities, eliminating wastage and unnecessary duplication of a multiplicity of government agencies, and slaying the dragon of corruption, consequently making the government of Kenya lean, inexpensive, effective, and efficient. During this process, the operations of government will continue uninterrupted under the guidance of principal secretaries and other relevant officials. I will be announcing additional measures and steps in due course. Thank you very much, and God bless our great country, Kenya. Asanteni sana.
That's it. And with immediate effect, he said, with immediate effects. So now, so those who are from Nigeria, all of you watching me from Nigeria, or a typical Nigerian, this one can never happen in Nigeria. It will never happen in Nigeria. Because the criminals in Nigeria are more or less like organized criminals who have carried out what you can call the state capture. There are some stuff that we shouldn't leave out in this whole Kenyan scenario. They have corrupt system too. But for some reason, their judiciary stood behind the people. Not just standing behind them, but being fair enough to just be so neutral that they protect those the government wants them to use the law to break. The military of Kenya, apart from the overzealous ones who followed the order of their murderous commanders and all that, and then following the order of Ruto, majority of them didn't really turn up, as it would have been for some reason too, unknown. For those who turned up, they didn't become murderous in trying to protect the bruised ego of a man, one man. So, not having the full control of the institutions like they do in Nigeria also helped a lot. And they kind of helped to send some fears into the heart of a supposed strong man of Kenya, Ruto. They are all it's going to take if this whole thing continues. It's going to be a mutiny within their own military. And guess what? It will just be the loss for all of them. Somehow, it's probably advised that if this whole thing continues, man, these guys will soon begin to disobey your order. And then the next thing to save the country from anarchy, you would have to go. So that's why it is still looking like impossible in Nigeria. So when somebody said the reality of Nigeria is different from that of Kenya, it is not really true. It is the mindset of an average Nigerian who will actually join you to condemn all the bad stuff, as long as you don't name the criminals who are perpetrating all these bad things. Let us all just agree that all our leaders are the same, John. All these leaders are just evil. All these our leaders, now God go punish them. Look at what they are doing. They are just stealing. But when you begin to name their leaders, then they will begin to get offended. Well, why are you naming it? Is it because he's a Yoruba man? Why don't you go and name those ones? Are there no other Hausa? Are there no Yoruba, Igbo? Are there no other so and so who are also thieves? What about? You see? Everybody will tell you it is so wrong what they are doing to Nigerians. So, honestly, these people, but they want it to remain that way because some of them, those who are not directly benefiting from the rots, they are looking forward to their turn when they will benefit from the rots. They are kind of having the conversation around minimum wage right now, okay? And the senators in Nigeria, they are fighting over seats. I think that is where we're going to stop first before we go to the House Old Rock. Akpabiole and his own predecessor, Robert Stamplawan, they gave some show today, right? And even though the country is in such a mess, a serious one, look at your senators and get, and get mad if you have to see the mad people that are running Nigeria or ruining Nigeria responsible for whatever you are facing as we speak. The guys who are being paid over 400 million naira every year just to what? To still steal from you? Let's go to their Senate, by the way. Akpabiole versus Robert Stamplawan today.
There seems to be unanimity of opinion that we separate the two items. And the first one we should take should be the synchronization of the time of sitting. And thereafter, the other one, you can still take it, but in case if you lump them together, if one fails, it means the two have failed. But let's separate it, take this other one, then go into the general principles, merits and demerits of the creation of the new committee. Bearing in mind the fact that we have a committee on foreign affairs, we have a committee on diaspora and all that, and we can expand their scope of activities, and judiciary and human rights. But if we cannot expand the scope of activities, that's when I think we can now go into creation of a separate committee on diaspora. Senate President Emeritus.
Of the Senate. The amendment we are seeking to do. So I've listened to you, and twice or thrice you have mentioned we should synchronize with the House. I have thought there will be another explanation, probably a more scientific explanation. Mr. President, I don't know the basis at the moment for which we want to shift our sitting from 10 to 11 and end at 3 p.m. To me, we have more energy, our heads are clearer in the morning, and 1 hour into the day probably would have lost some energy. And I feel, Mr. President, if we work between 10, if we sit in plenary between 10 and 2, our committees would do better than when the committees would have to go and sit between 4, probably, and 6 or 7 or 8. So if we don't have any reason except that we have to synchronize with the House, I think we need to look at it again. But if we have other reasons that we must change, that will be fine. But if it is just synchronized, the House may have their reasons why they sit at 11 and close at 3. But here I don't see the reason. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Well, yeah, by 11 o'clock was started by you in the 9th Senate, particularly during the period of the COVID.
It was during the COVID. In fact, we even reduced the number of days. And then we started sitting from 11 during the COVID period. But the rule stayed at 10.
The COVID,
yes.
Our rule says 10, but we came and made the tradition of this 11. In fact, the only thing that we changed was to add additional day. Because during that COVID period, you were sitting twice in a week. But I said no, that since there is no more COVID, we should sit 3 times in a week. And then, of course, we also maintain what we saw, the 11 o'clock. But now we are saying that we have not been able to justify the 11 o'clock sitting unless we reflect same in our rule. And the idea of 3 o'clock, in my view, is not correct, because it doesn't mean you must sit till 3. It simply means that we can even, if we don't have enough things to do, we can close at 1. We can close at 2, to enable our colleagues to go for committee sittings and other matters related to the proceedings of the Senate, such as clearances and all that, and meeting of government functionaries. So the only aspect of it was just to legalize it so that people don't have the impression that you are sitting at 11 o'clock and your rule says 10 o'clock. But if we must leave it as it is, it's not a problem. But let's hear from the public. Yes,
I want to make a very passionate appeal to our distinguished colleagues. Of course, I listened to the Senate President Emeritus, His Excellency, distinguished Senator Ahmad Lawa, and it was very apt. For me, I believe the issue should go beyond trying to reconcile our timing with that of the House of Representatives. As a matter of fact, there had been some days that we sat and the House of Representatives did not sit. There had been moments that we had sat for a whole week with the House of Reps being on recess. So that cannot be the fundamental reason. The fundamental reason, distinguished colleagues, is that as distinguished senators, being on this floor is only one out of at least the three principal functions that we perform. Effective representation on the floor is one. Our committee assignments is another one. Over 70% of distinguished senators are chairmen of committees. And then, of course, thirdly, we have our oversight functions. Aside from other things that we have to engage in our various constituencies and on a national scale, and sometimes on an international scale.
Those are Nigerian senators debating whether to sit early or to sit later in a country in crisis. I mean, that's what they do anyway. Just sit there, talk, and all of that, and get paid. Because of our time, I'm going to go back there. So let's just finish it once and for all. And I'll show you something else that you probably should know too. Let's continue.
President, is that a lot of times distinguished senators have reasons to go to bed late. And there is no point having in our rule book that our sitting time is 10 a.m. And every day we sit at 11 o'clock. Of course, there are some distinguished senators who will be here 10 for 10. But there have been a lot of times that even you sat here, Mr. President, at 11 or 10:30, and we had to wait for some of our distinguished colleagues to come so that we could form a quorum. It's important that we walk our talk. If our rules had said 10 a.m. and we had not been able to sit 10 for 10, I think what is most important at this point is what distinguished Senator Yahaya Abdullahi said, the former Senate leader, that if we say it is 11, please let it be 11 o'clock. So I agree with distinguished Senator Amal Lawa that it cannot just be because the House sits at 11. As a matter of fact, he also talked about energy. If it's even about energy, our younger brothers and sisters in the House of Representatives have more energy than we do. So if they will not sit before 11 a.m., I think it makes sense that we sit, amend our rules to read 11 o'clock, rather than our rule book saying 10 a.m. and we don't sit until 11. For me, this is the basic justification, and I would just like all of us to see it from that perspective so that we can save some time.
What I've said, but I don't want to be misquoted. They will say Akwabi again. Because as Senator Dingy, there was a time that I watched the sittings of both chambers when we had the third term crisis. And when the question was put, he failed in the Senate while the House was still debating, and somebody had to run from here to go and alert the House that the third term bill had failed first to go for second reading in the Senate, and therefore there was no point continuing. I don't know if you understand. And so they now put their heads together, and then abruptly they stopped further debate because the thing had died, since it takes two hands to clap. So that is one of the reasons you could think of. And another aspect of it is the fact that it would be nice for us to go into a small closed session and discuss exhaustively, so that members of the public will not misunderstand our discussion. Then we come back and take the decision. So I want to urge the leader of the Senate, because this is not the main thing that bothers on the lives of Nigerians at the moment. When the distinguished Senator Mark was Senate President, and even the practice he met on ground, Senate was sitting at 2 o'clock because they used the morning period to meet with the diplomatic communities, to do a lot of engagements with civil servants and public officers, and then they start their sitting by 2 o'clock. And so officially they had 2 o'clock to 5. And I know that many of you also would like to do the same, meet with most of the agencies, conclude, even open your public hearings before coming for sittings. But it's not for the public to know, because the public only thinks that we sit here alone. We don't sit here alone. We do a lot of other things off camera. So the Senate leader, as much as I agree with you, I still think that we should go into closed session. So to have 5-10 minutes discussion before we reopen this debate. So if you don't mind, I wish that you move a motion for the Senate to revert to closed session to have further debate on this.
Mr. President.
Mr. President, this is
nuisance, Lily.
I actually wanted you to see everything to the end. At least we all watched and listened to Ruto, the most hated man in Kenya right now. We all heard him reeled out what he's been able to do or what he intends to do on and on for 11 minutes. And nobody said anything like boring, no, it's boring, no, it's boring. But the moment you cross the border back to the contraption, the rogues you have on your screen, that's how they have them, because those are the decision makers in Nigeria. Those are the people that decide the direction that they will take you all to. Now, see where they are taking all of you to right now. Those are the people making that decisions. And according to him, you know, the whole public is seeing us now going back and forth. Don't let them think we are fighting, okay? Let's go to the closed doors so that we can go and discuss what time to be sitting and have our meeting. And you guess what? These guys, before Tinubu increased their salary by over 200%, these guys used to take home over 200 million naira every year. Now, a senator, each of the person you see in that video, right, goes on with over 500 million naira today. Here is the breakdown before the increase. I think you should watch. The people that can't pay salary or minimum wage of 250,000 naira. See what your lawmakers are earning.
1,000 multiplied by 12 is 7,452,000 naira. Okay? So every month, a lawmaker in Nigeria is giving 621,000, for wardrobe. Then we have recess allowance, 248,000. So when you multiply 248,000 by 12, you have 2,936,000 naira. So a lawmaker in Nigeria is being given 2,936,000 naira as recess allowance. Okay, we have accommodation. Every month, a lawmaker in Nigeria is being given 4,900,000 naira for accommodation. That is every month. They ought to pack out from their house and move to a new house. Then when you multiply 4,900,000 by 12, you get 58,800,000 naira. Okay, so a lawmaker in Nigeria earns 58,800,000 naira as accommodation allowance. Then we have utility. Utility here is 828,000 naira. When you multiply 828,000 naira by 12, you have 9,936,000 naira. Okay, so every month, a lawmaker in Nigeria is given 828,000 naira for utility. Then we have a personal assistance allowance. That one is 621,000 naira. Multiply by 12, you have 7,452,000 naira. So when you total all this figure, you see that a lawmaker in Nigeria earns annually, the total figure a lawmaker in Nigeria earns annually is 221,016,000 naira. So annually, a lawmaker in Nigeria earns 221,016,000 naira. When you multiply by 4, it is 834,064,000 naira. But these are people that cannot pay 62,000 minimum multiply.
They can't pay 62,000 naira minimum wage or 250,000 minimum wage. You see that, That is before the 200% or 104%, another one, 204% salary increase that Tinubu gave them. So right now, multiply that first. Multiply it by 221 million. That will give you 441 million. 42 million. Abi? 32,000. Now add another 221 million to that. So you are there, right? You're already like, 663 million naira a year. That is what the senator takes home. The 440 million is for the House of Rep members. And that is not even enough for them. They still added over 6 trillion naira. They padded 6 trillion naira into 2024 budgets for projects that doesn't exist, for the communities that doesn't exist, and they still listed them there. They put them in there, and they withdraw at least this year. They withdraw half of it. If they don't get all the 6 trillion they padded into the budget, they will get they'll get half of it. It's all rip-off. So Ajeru and others, they went on to Ajeru and Osifo, NLC and TUC. So they went on to see Tinubu today. Remember, they said that the rumor of a 62,000 naira minimum wage is just a rumor, because they will not take anything less than 250,000 naira minimum wage. Now, they reiterated that today. But we'll just go inside and see what happened when they went to see Tinubu.
So we try to put this before Mr. President because he's the president of the country and the buck stalls at his table. We've had all the conversations with all his agents, but today we said that let's meet with the father of the country and have this conversation and make the argument that Labour normally make. Labour went in there, we made all the arguments, economic analysis, macro, micro, fiscal, and monetary issues. So we put everything forward, and at the end, the president also made his remark as a president, and we all agreed that, okay, let's go back. We internalize it, we have some conversations, and that by 1 week time, we come back and we continue the meeting.
Let's listen to Daniel's president.
We didn't go into Naira and cover discussion. Now, the status quo in terms of the amount, 250 and 62,000, remains until we finish this conversation.
Thank you very much. That will be all.
So they believe that Tinubu will meet with them again in a week, and then they will finalize what your minimum wage will be. So from what we were hearing, Tinubu was going to propose 100,000 to them, but that is not guaranteed, because others are saying the stand 2 weeks ago was 62,000 or nothing, and the position still remained the same. Okay, the country where one person can steal 100 billion, 200 billion. One of them collapsed in court today. The former minister of the Minister of Power. He collapsed in court today, standing trial for stealing 33.9 billion naira. Individually, there are those who have stolen more than $1 billion in the space of that 8 years of Bukwari. All this money. Majority of them have kept them out of Nigeria, of course. Others who have kept theirs in Nigeria probably have them buried. Okay? But the workers won't have any money to be paid. Or if they have to pay the workers, Nigeria will go bankrupt. This is what the politician says. If they should pay Nigerian workers minimum wage of 250,000 naira, Nigeria will go bankrupt. And since they don't want Nigeria to go bankrupt, 30,000 naira or 62,000 naira or nothing. But it is a country that has no money. But an individual or group of people can steal up to 1 trillion, 2 trillion naira. Millions of dollars. When they steal the millions of dollars, it sounds like they were stealing thousands, because you just hear something like this one stole $150 million. In Kaduna State, El Rufai of Kaduna borrowed money. Hear this one, oh. He went to the bank, and El Rufai borrowed 80 billion naira. That's a lot of money, yeah? So this money was to be used in revitalizing Kaduna State's economy. Now, nobody knows what happened to that money. Then El Rufai went to go and borrow about 4 billion naira so that they will pay off the pensions, the unpaid gratuities and pensions. El Rufai, that money disappeared and pensions were not paid. El Rufai collected money to clear outstanding salaries, gratuities, pensions, like stuff like that. I mean, stuff like that, right? Then borrowed this 4 billion that I'm talking about. He borrowed that from the Central Bank of Emefiele as a credit granted them by Bukwari. There were many who collected them, that money. Yeye Bello of Kogi that they are looking for right now. Yeye Bello collected about 21 billion in total. And you know what Yeye Bello did with the money? He went on to go and freeze about 14 billion of the money in a bank, accumulating interests. While the pensioners in Kogi State were owed years of unpaid pensions, including workers' unpaid salaries. The money was lying there in a bank. So yes, he got wind of it. Because yes, he was about to take the money, Yeye Bello quickly go grab the money and started paying some of the pensioners. But he didn't even clear that, okay? And that was how the rest of the money disappeared. Part of the money they are now looking for him for. El Rufai went on to go and borrow about $300 million. This time around is in dollars, $300 million. So they said they want to revitalize the economy of Kaduna. That money is part of the money that's missing right now. 423 billion naira is how much El Rufai stole from Kaduna. Not just him, like others now. Commissioner this, PA this, contractor this or that, okay? El Rufai stole over 423 billion. And these are, how did they manage to steal all this money? And these are people that will tell you, if Nigeria should pay 250,000 naira minimum wage, Nigeria will go bankrupt. And you believe them. Ajero, when he's not inside the asshole rock, he had this to say about the corruption that is making it impossible to give you better lives, even though you have jobs, you are working like slaves. Hear him.
Sort of corruption.
That's right.
The infrastructure, corruption.
That's right.
If you go to the power sector, you know why we don't have electricity. Trace it back. I think there's need, an urgent need, for us to fight corruption. And the NLC will throw its weight behind the agency in all fights against corruption.
Yes,
the only advice is don't allow anybody to misinform you so that genuine Nigerians, will back you. Nigerians are united on the fight against corruption, clearly. I think what your agency needs to do is to connect them so that it will be a mass movement. And everybody from year to year, generation to generation, has been pointing at the issue of corruption. In fact, Shino Achebe, in his book, The Trouble in Nigeria, said that it is just like, it's putting the goat and the yam. And that in Nigeria, that the goat must eat the yam.
That's right.
So we have to make sure that this fight, we have taken it to the next generation.
That's right.
It's a fight that we can't afford to lose. If we lose this fight, we have lost the essence of our existence as a nation. So there is no need talking about productivity, talking about IGR. If only one man could just, within a second, will write it off. The sad aspect of this is that people take what they don't need from generation to generation and they dump it. Some countries we are now laughing stock to some countries that where we dump our money, and such cities are so beautiful and Nigeria is suffering. My brothers and sisters, I wish to pledge the support of the NLC. Anytime, any day, any moment, we have to come together to fight corruption before corruption will ruin the country. Thank you.
Everywhere to propoye. But that was the NLC chairman or the NLC president. I don't know if he's called chairman or president, though, right? He's called president, I think. Talking about corruption and what corruption has done to them. That's what corruption does. It deprives you of, humanity. It sort of degrades you. It destroys people. That's what corruption does. It's so evil. When you take things that things that are meant for millions of people, and then a few people just corner that. That's evil, right? Well, yeah, hang on. Right, so let's go to Lagos. Let's leave Abuja and their minimum wage for now, okay? So let's quickly stop in Lagos. I saw something on the streets shared earlier today. And it was, I think it was that guy that usually demolish houses, okay? But this time they are not demolishing houses. It's just the normal day in, what a normal day would look like in the mega shitty. The supposed mega shitty of Africa. Look around you. Look around.
Orúkọ mi ni Mrs. Alausa Ọ̀rẹ́dọ́lá Mariam. Àwa mẹ́rin la wà bí. Àwa ni Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture in conjunction with the Association of Perishable Farm Produce Traders of Lagos State, Ajah Zone. Ṣé ẹ rí nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ìdọ̀tí a ò mọ̀ ń pa? Táwa bá ti ṣèdọ̀tí tiwa, a register under Lawmaker. Bàbá Òtúyà lè jẹ́rìí sí. Ṣùgbọ́n dídé tẹ́dé ní ìṣètẹ́ wá ṣàlàyé nípa àwọn sùkú àgbàdo inú tiwa gan òdò sí. Lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí ààrẹ ti dì láti ràn yín lọ́wọ́ ká dẹ̀ rọra wa lọ́wọ́. Torí ìrànlọ́wọ́ tí yín ló máa mú tiwa náà dúró. Láàárọ̀ làtà bá ti já ọjà. À ń sọ fún everybody. Gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn tó bá lọ da sùkú àgbàdo lẹ̀, a máa fà lé lọ́mọ lọ́wọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n a fún wọn ní wọ́n nìní. A gbọ́dọ̀ rí mọ́. Ẹni ìdọ̀tí ó gbé wá lé ni ó fẹ́ sọ ọ́ lẹ̀. Gbé lọ sí lọ́mọ. Kó lọ dà sọ́hùn. Kò sí anybody tó gbọ́dọ̀ dàdọ̀tí sí i. Torí ẹ̀ ló jẹ́ kí n gba nọ́mbà. Anybody tó bá ti tàpá sófin yìí, tó bá ti gbé dọ̀tí tó lọ dà síbẹ̀, ọ̀fà sọ́dọ̀ yín. Kò sí dọ̀tí lọ́dọ̀ wa. Àwa rẹ́dí àti rọra wa lọ́wọ́ o. Ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́.
The mega shitty, the mega slum, and every image, every video that is not doctored, made on their streets, the videos recorded right where people stays will show you enough of the fail shit hole that they used to rob the rest of you who thought Tinubu was doing something, right? And I think you know better now. Like, what the heck? A government that cannot, by any means, provide infrastructures that really takes away the waste. That's one big problem that has become the problem of Lagos State for Omo. And it's going to remain the same because you have the same set of incompetent, money-gulping, rent-seeking rogues. Now, they made a video to show to us, see, government, so it's not the government that see how that woman drop her. What is she doing there? Don't talk like that, Jeremiah. People need to eat. People need to survive. That is why they can just... Like, it's normal. Like, you will never live in a country whereby you will not see all this street road trading and then a dumping of refuse all over the place. Like, you would never live you will never live in a Nigeria or a country of yours that doesn't have all those. It's normal. It's normal because they are stealing all the money that could build you markets, malls, that is so affordable enough that they are just like a giveaway. When you come to some of this part of the world, right? And then you are like a smaller business, you see them where they have, you have a chance. Even if you have to kind of take a loan to get yourself a space, you will get a space because there will be space. There will be space. Unfortunately, it is just going to be what it's going to be like forever and never like for the rest of your lives. Anybody who try to come around, they will just use their usual fire brigade approach, the camera and other stuff to make it look like they are doing something. If they are not demolishing the shanties that they are allowed to be erected there for years, it's like somebody can just wake up and just be like, you know what? I'm just going to go and destroy all these shanties built on this side of the road. And that's it. They will bring the katakata, they will demolish everything there, break everything away. Everywhere looks so clean, so clear, but so rough, and all of that, right? Nothing else happens. Then give it weeks, a few months after, the entire place will begin to build up again, because there's no real plan. You are being led by people who are like so incompetent and so corrupt that they would rather monetize every of your problems. That's what they do. Monetize that. But indeed, of course, it's not, the whole blame is not just for the government. Did you see the nonchalant attitude of the woman that is roasting the corn? She's like, we are waiting for Aboki to come and pack it. No, don't give your waste to Aboki. You need to pack them properly and give them to Loma. Usually when you have markets, okay, you have this big, massive skip. Do you know why they put big skips in front of markets? or at the back of markets, simply because it can collect all the waste. And then you see the truck will come, pick up the skips. You can have like about 10, 15, 20 skips. When I say skips, I'm not talking about bin. But there are actually some bin, some industrial bins, right? Not this tiny one that we use here at Tomo. I'm talking about the big one, massive ones, right? That looks like skip, plastic. But you could have, as a government, as a policy, everywhere you have markets, everywhere you know people are kind of, whether on a bus stop or what have you, right? You build all these skips in these areas that they are so huge and so big enough that only trucks that comes around to pick them takes them away. But there is no real plan. Everybody just do what they want. And they will tell you there is a plan, Lagos plan. For those who have never really lived in Lagos, there are those they will tell you about Lagos plans. So much like a Rudale, it's like a jungle. You say, Omo will leave that one and go back to Abuja. Okay. Today, the Supreme Court gave a judgment. And that judgment was to give the financial autonomy to the local government areas in Nigeria. But it's all coming out now like it seems like it's a bubble. So, from what we know, right? Sometimes in May 2020, I'm going to give you this timeline so that probably you will get where I'm going with this. Okay. So in May 2020, Bokwari at the time said he was using his executive order to grant the local government areas in Nigeria financial autonomy. Breaking news: Bokwari grants local government areas financial autonomy. It didn't take long. 5 months after that. Oh, hang on. It wasn't even like 5 months after that. It was like about a month after that. The state governors in Nigeria took Bokwari's government to court. Because according to them, there is a section of the Nigerian constitution that lawfully authorized them to create the state local government joint account. And the local government money should be paid into that account. They have actually managed to get that into their fraudulent 1999 constitution as amended. So they sued Bokwari, therefore local government couldn't get their money directly. But Bokwari knew, but that's how they kind of play on the intelligence of a lot of you. So in 2021, they took Bokwari, the court actually granted their, what do you call it? They took Bokwari to court almost a month after that. And by 2021, the Supreme Court was ready to hear their case. Yeah, was ready to hear their case. Also, by February 2022, the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled in favor of the governors, state governors, and said, except the section of that their constitution is amended or expunged, removed totally, Bokwari had no power or any executive power to grant local government financial autonomy. That was the end of it. Now, fast forward it now to March 2022, just a year after that. The next thing that happened was for the Nigeria National Assembly members, the Senate, under Robert Stamplawan. I don't know how they did that, okay? They said, I'm gonna know. Right. So, I think it's in May 2022, rather. So they backed Bokwari. And then somehow, I think, no, I think I have to roll it back, okay? Bokwari actually got a judgment from the Supreme Court in his favor. No, not in the governor's favor, right? Bokware wins the case, but somehow, it was never implemented. Then Tinubu came. This time around, in 2024, this month, which is just today, yeah. So before today, sometimes in February, Tinubu also kind of took the state governors to court, this time just straight to the Supreme Court to interpret the judgment they gave in 2022, that the local government should kind of get their money directly. Remember, the section of the law that the governors are using as their own shield is still there, not amended, not changed. So the Supreme Court now ruled again today for the second time in 2 years that indeed it is so wrong for the state governors to be actually controlling the local government money. It should go straight to them. And any state that fails to conduct a local government election, right, should not receive any allocation from the federal government, Abuja. Also, the local government, the state governors have no power. This is just in rulings of the Supreme Court, or it's not their law, right? But Supreme Court kind of have that power to interpret what that law means. This is them now interpreting that section that says they should create that joint account wherever, right? Confusing, you will say. That's it. More confusing. I'm doing my best to make it more easier out of the entire confusion, okay? So the ruling of the Supreme Court today was interpreted by this guy. I'll add mine after as well, right? Listen.
Just delivered by the Supreme Court has finally made the rest of the allocation of funds to the local governments in Nigeria. Their lordships considered the matter and came to the conclusion that although Section 162, so 5 and 6 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria makes provision that money due to local government shall be paid through the joint account. That provision was considered to be a discretionary provision, meaning it can be tinkered with. And in their lawsuit judgment, that is not mandatory. Therefore, their lawsuit came to the conclusion that money due to local government shall henceforth be paid directly from the federation account to the 774 local government and 6 municipal council in Abuja.
So pay their money to them directly. Don't interfere in their own affairs per se, but you can perform oversight function. Oversight is that you can still kind of monitor what they are doing with the money. Now, how much are we talking about? Let me give you some instances, okay? So that you have an idea of how much money we are talking about here. You know that Lagos State is considered as the richest state in Nigeria because of IGR. It's not because of the economy per se, it's because of how much money they are squeezing. And you cannot, right? You cannot rate the success of any community based on the money you are taking from people. It has to be like reinvested in them so that you can say, oh, the high tax people are paying is really paying off if you see the standard of infrastructure that serves the people in that state. So generally, it's reported. Okay. The body that is the company that is collecting the taxes for Lagos State government is called the Alpha Beta, owned by Tinubu, your president. Now they collect the taxes for Lagos. Now they take out their own 30% of the money, and then they give the rest to the Ministry of Finance in Lagos. That's their own IGR. So by so doing, they were able to kind of mop up enough money that they declare that they make over 400 billion naira from taxes in a year, when some states are generating maybe about 15 billion a year. Lagos was generating over 400. Then recently they said the Lagos State is now generating over 600 billion annually. And if you break that down, it's practically saying Lagos is generating over 50 billion naira every month from IGR, just collecting taxes from people. Okay? Now, if they declared over 600 billion annually as what Lagos is generating, do you know how much Lagos is collecting annually as well from Abuja? Okay. Lagos State is generating, according to demo, Lagos is generating over 20 billion or thereabout on VAT alone every month. So this money is part of the money that they will have to reshare and share to everybody as part of allocations that goes to them, okay? Now, Lagos State collects allocation from Abuja. So take a look at this. So between June 2023 and June 2024, the 20 local government areas in Lagos State collected a total sum of 258.3 billion naira. That's how much that was given to them between July 2023 and June 2024. That's total. And you know how much Lagos State collected as a state? Remember, you have 3 tiers of government. You have the federal government, you have the state government, and then you have the local government. The first figure I gave you, in a year, 20 local government of Lagos State collected from Abuja over 258.3 billion. That's the local government. In the same year, under review, between July 2023 and June 2024, Lagos State as a state collected the sum of 253.9 billion as allocation in 1 year. So in this 1 year, Lagos State government and Lagos State local government collected over 505 billion a year. That's how much they cashed out from Abuja. 505 billion from Abuja. And if you add that to their supposed 600 billion IGR, that should automatically say Lagos State alone kind of had access to a liquid cash in excess of 1 trillion naira. There is no other state that has such access to such money. And guess what? Lagos State is the most indebted state in Nigeria as well, with the debt that is currently running over 4 trillion naira. And if I ask you to show me what they have done with the money, I don't think a lot of you will not fight me and turn it to fight, because you will have nothing to really show and say, hey, but you see, look at the metro rail, look at the metro line, look at the speedboat, look at and say, okay, can we put all the prices together and see and compare them to all this revenue? And then maybe you will still be able to insist. Look at this, look at that. And that's for Lagos. Now you see, Kano is another very densely populated state in Nigeria. In the same year under review, Kano State local government areas between the month of July 2023 and last month, June 2024, the 40 or so, or 44 local government areas of Kano, they collected 160.9 billion naira. That's how much they collected from Abuja, the local government areas. The state as a body collected an excess of 152.3 billion naira. Now, if you join these two together, what are you going to get? From Abuja alone, Kano State's drawn over 300 billion naira in allocation in 1 year. Kano. And if you go to Osun State, Osun in the same period, the local government areas in Osun, they drawn the excess of 87.9 billion naira as allocation for the local government areas, while the states collected in the same period 82.1 billion naira. And if you add these two together, you're going to have 170 billion naira. That's how much Osun State collected from Abuja for local governments and for states. Now, if you go to Oyo, I have the figure of Oyo here too. Now, in that same vein, in a year, from the money they are sharing every month, local governments in Oyo State collected in excess of 127.8 billion naira. That's how much the local government collected, shared, supposedly, even though it didn't go to them. It went straight to the governor, who would then have to use his own discretion to share it as he wished. While the state collected 121.1 billion, that's how much money Oyo State collected as a state. From the federation account, 121 billion. So 121 plus 127, that should be 248 billion naira went to Oyo State. The reason why I'm giving you this figure is because this money didn't go to the local government areas. It went straight to the pocket of the governors, who out of their own magnanimity, generosity, will now decide which road should be fixed, which schools should be fixed, and which hospitals should be equipped, and when they should be done. Now, let me give you another one. There's another one, Katsina, Kaduna. Kaduna is in such a debt that their own is worse. Because of El-Rufaya's stealing and looting, Kaduna is in such a debt that when they deduct all the deductibles from their allocation, right, they just give them peanuts. That's the wreck that El-Rufaya caused them. But on the year under review, Kaduna still managed, the Kaduna local government areas, so they still managed to get about 100 billion. It's actually like 98.9 billion naira for all the Kaduna local government areas. I'm not sure the money got to them, okay? While the state got 93.9 billion naira. So if you add these two together, you're going to have something around the 184 or so billion. That's how much Kaduna got using the local government joint account. And for Bokwari State in Katsina, they even got more. See, the local government in Katsina State got nearly 120 billion naira. They didn't get the money. You need to go and look at them and see if they have, they look like a place that got 120 billion naira from Abuja. The state itself got 121 billion. Now, if you add these two together, that's like 249 billion naira for Katsina State. Where is the money? So when the judgment came, it just sounded like those that we have heard before. It's just part of the news that will never materialize. People salivate on that. They are currently sort of reacting to it in Nigeria right now. Oh, this is a great news. This is Bokwari gave you the same vibe. Have you forgotten? No, you can't. I don't think you have forgotten. Okay? But there is this lawmaker, initially when we were talking about the Samoa deal, whatever, EU, LGBTQ stuff that they are rejecting, it sounded like it's more from northern Nigeria. But I found somebody else who is a lawmaker inside their National Assembly who is telling Tinubu that, come on, man, look for money elsewhere. Do not implement this agreement in Nigeria. He is from Abia State. Listen.
Equity. And I represent the artisanal people of Aba North and Aba South in this incorruptible assembly. Mr. Speaker, I would like to speak very briefly about some of the contents of this Samoa agreement. Mr. Speaker, this agreement has certain clauses that happens to be in variance with our way of life. We are Africans, we are not Westerners. We have our laws. We have our way of life. We have our way of doing things. And as far as I'm concerned, this issue of human rights, which Nigeria does not in any way violate, should not be implicitly enshrined into this agreement, and members representing the people. This is the people's house. This is the people's parliament. We stand here in my own right. I represent over 1.something million people from Aba, and I have been told that this particular human rights clause happens to be reprehensible, abominable, and we do not intend to stand for it. Do I speak the minds of my people here? Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue to do things that do not align, or that is... Can you hear me? Yes. Go ahead, sir. We cannot continue to engage in contrived way of governance, cosmetic way of running government. Let us focus on the issues that matter. Our people are hungry. Yes. Our people are starving. Yes. People cannot buy food. Yes. There is insecurity. Yes. There is no light in the country. Yes. Industries are not growing. Yes. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Why are we here talking about LGBT, GTBT, whatever? Let us concentrate on the issues that matter. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Speaker, our people are not interested in this, so let us step it down, let us close it, let us forget everything about it. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, please.
Equity.
And at the Senate, they are discussing how to create another state from Kano that will be called Tiga States. This one.
Presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Koolu Suleiman on the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, alteration, creation of Tiga State Bill 2024 SB 523. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of Senate to read the short title of the bill.
The Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2024, Creation of Tiga State, first reading.
Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2024, creation of the proposed Tiga State, SB 523, sponsored by Senator Koolu Suleiman Sumaila. First reading taken.
Presentation of a bill.
And the senator that want to create Tiga State from Kano was saying, giving 1,000 naira to Alimajiri children to go and buy food and soap to bath themselves. I don't know if you have seen this.
Wai gaya muku musulmi yana zama da kayansa haka zan ba ku kuɗi na ku je ku yi wanki ku yi wanka ku yi aski ku ci abinci ban ce ku ba malam komai ba in kuka yi rigima zan koyi jiwa zai wanke wanka gashi na abin da gaya muku kuma Qur'ani sai ya ci mutum idan ya je shi abin da ba shi
wajen salasa ma sahabul maimana ma sahabul maimana.
Don't say God, get patience, right? Maybe those are the people that they will probably put together to form the Tiga state. Tiga state. In Abuja today, there was this raised alarm of a burning filling station. And this scarcity time, what could have caused this fire in Abuja? And I hope it's out now. This was just this evening.
Okay, this is mainland oil and gas filling station at Koolu Expressway. There's a fire situation here at the mainland oil and gas filling station where a tanker was said to be offloading petrol and caught on fire. That's all we know for now. This is an ongoing situation, yes. You can see the fire and the tanker. We don't really know if there are any casualties, but we'll get to find out much later, but hopefully there isn't. We have some police officers right here, and there's an ambulance here also monitoring the situation and trying to ward people off this place. Yes, because we don't really know how far this will go. And presently, we can't even see the presence of any fire service. There's been none so far. Okay. I think we can get to see one here. We can see the fire service trying to quench the situation. Unsuccessfully, because you can still see the fire burning. So that's the situation right now. I think they are moving along for some backup because we can see the tanker moving away from the scene of the fire. The fire is still blazing, as we can see. Efforts to put it off has been unsuccessful so far. So that's the report right now. Mainland oil and gas filling station here at Koolu Expressway. Yeah.
So we hope they finally bring back the trucks, the fire truck to come and put out the fire. Hi. You see so much incompetence and all of that everywhere, and you see them waste lives, you see them destroy properties due to their incompetence, negligence, and nonchalant attitude towards not placing value on what should be placed values on, right? So after the whole after the whole back forth, from Kenya to Nigeria, and then from one place to the other, at some point, right, when you have seen enough, you just want to escape from it all. And I think that's what Spider-Man feels like. And that's what I feel like. I want to kind of, if I am faced with any of this, right, I'll do anything to escape it all, like this guy.
You want to say? What would you do?
And that's somewhere in Kaduna ahead. So that note, I am going to draw the curtains now. And we should be taking calls tonight. And if you are interested in being part of that, you just have to use your phone, okay? And there is this SOS I'm sending out, and I think I should put you on notice, right? There is a member of this platform that does need our help, okay? And it has to do with, timing too. And whatever we're going to actually have to put together, we would have to do that, okay? So I said I should say it beforehand. I am going to be asking for your help for somebody here. There are two people, right? Maybe not tonight. So I'll let you know. So to those who probably would need to go, great. You should make sure that you have this already shared, you have it liked, and then yeah, you can go. And to those who want to stay back and have their own contribution added to this tonight, you too, right? Stay back, and when I get back, we shall continue. The number is on the screen, though. Thank you so much, and I will be back. That's your point.
Disable, akishete,
Somebody wanted me to play them. Don't worry, I'll play you that next time. Okay. So let's take calls. I have my first caller tonight. There. Hello.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you too. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you, sir? And the family?
We are surviving. We thank God. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. I've been trying to call in for it's almost weeks now. I don't know. I had to, UAE and their problems. I think I had to buy VPN because I always watch. So whenever the line is open, I love to call in to contribute. Though I always comment on the comment section, even
it can be like that. Sometimes it's easier. You just kind of you get so lucky day after day. There's something just happens, right? To the point that you're unable to anymore. But glad you are here though, right? Meanwhile, see told you, thank you. I just got your message as well. Meanwhile, go on, Baba.
Okay, sir. Yeah, first of all, I want to appreciate you, like I always do every day on the comment section, because what you choose to do, because what you bring to us every day, believe me, a lot of us know that we may not be able to have the opportunity to see it anywhere, but you choose to do this every day, different topic, and it's very interesting and very, very important. I know that I wish Nigerians, like over, let me say 300,000 Nigerians are able to see your program for just 2 weeks.
I do wish that.
Or 3 weeks. Believe me, I wish Nigerians can watch Mayagu for 3 good weeks. They will stand up and hold their ground. Because Mayagu, in this life, no matter what you want, you have to stand up and hold your ground. Even there's a verse in the Bible that said, in the Bible that said, if you stand up and hold your ground, God will be there for you. Don't expect miracle. Meanwhile, you have not even shown any sign. You have to first of all stand up, show your intention that you want this thing to be like this. You stand up with boldness, confidence. Yeah, before God will assist you. But Nigerians, look at, they don't even care. They don't even care. Okay, look at Koolu creating ministry for cows, goats. But they said it's for livestock. No, we know that it's for cow and goat. He gave the corrupt former INEC chairman, which is a Atari Jaga, who rigged Goodluck out of power in 2015. He gave him the share, but he claimed that he is the share. The Atari Jaga is the vice chair, but we know that Atari Jaga is the share of that ministry. So this it shows that Chief Tinubu doesn't even hear the cry of the people. He doesn't care what the people are saying. Look at Kenya government. Yeah, Kenya government, people protested. The man took action. That shows that he is listening to the people. He hears their cry. The people made him president. But look at Koolu. We are crying. Things are going higher. Doesn't even care.
Doesn't give a damn.
To me, my region, to me, believe me, Nigeria don't have a president. No. Nigeria doesn't have. Nigeria is just be like, let me say, autopilot.
Nigeria is like leaderless, governmentless. They have no government.
I'm telling you, autopilot. Who does what they want? Who does like a bar? They just do what they what they want to themselves. So the people can cry more. You can cry harder. You don't have to cry to the hearing. They don't even hear you. They don't care. They don't care. My mom was telling me last 3 days that if she had 500,000 naira in Nigeria, 2 weeks is gone just for feeding. 2 weeks. Nigeria now sell yam. They slice yam piece by piece in the market. They sell noodles, spaghetti in the nylon like sachet water. This ice water back then. They sell beans. They shade it like this granite that we used to buy those days when back then in school. Those granite they used to say 10 naira. That is how they shade beans now in Nigeria. 1.5. I'm telling you, my mom showed me a video. Wow. Each portion, just like small granite, each portion is 1.5. I'm telling you, people are going through a lot. And my anger is that Nigerian youth are so dumb. They are so useless. So sorry to use this word. They are useless to me. I'm telling you, they are useless to me. People need to take action. People need to take action. These people don't care. If Nigerian youth.
Do you not think that's going to probably work? Here is a Showore's planned revolution now. It is planned for August the 5th, right? And it is also to celebrate the 5 years of revolution now. So if we are looking for something to spark, well, there is one. Here is another one, but this one is in support of Koolu, because they hear that a lot of people are organizing protests. They have started organizing their own too. See, Ulapenga. See, so they want to do their own mega rally. Nigeria is proposing.
You can imagine. You can imagine. You can imagine.
People are planning to go out though. It's just that people are so divided that Showore's a revolution now. Normally, let's be honest though. There are so many people who are now interested in the politics and all these shenanigans of Nigeria or in Nigeria. Courtesy of Showore, but it's just unfortunate how we lost the political capital over that, okay? But now, people are so divided that Showore is calling right now, and so many are just like, you better go and do your protest alone. And that's what we're talking about. There's no unity of purpose,
My general, what I see, to me, Nigeria can get this thing done. But the only way that they can do it is by togetherness, and they have to be steady. No matter what happens, they have to hold their ground. Bible used that word. The whole word of God said you should stand up and hold your ground, no matter what happens. This is not me talking. This is the word of God. Yeah, you should hold your ground. So far that you know that you are doing the right thing, you are taking the right step. You should hold your ground. It's time for Nigerians to stand up and hold their ground. Because these people don't care. They don't care. Yes, sir. I always appreciate your effort. And I always pray for you. We are, in fact, we love you. We love you, Mayagu. Thank you so much. We love you. Continue your good work.
Keeping on, okay? So how is the
Yeah,
missus?
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, she's fine. The kids are just disturbing her, but she's trying to control them so I can speak to you.
And I hope you know, the tension is not as it was back then. I know she's kind of busy now and all that, right? Just to keep her mind about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So, brother,
Yes.
take it
Yeah,
easy, okay? And
is,
keep on keeping on, okay? Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Lord Penga from the UAE, a very prominent member of the temple, a Templar. Here is another Templar. Hello.
Hello, Michael.
Hello, sir.
Hello, good is Francis calling from Manchester.
Francis from Manchester. Oh, how are you this evening, sir?
Michael, I'm doing fine, man. Honestly, I came into this country just 1 year ago, and I came across your YouTube channel through a friend.
Right.
And ever since then, honestly, you've revealed a lot of things going on in Nigeria, and I just don't know what we can do. If we say it's revolution, we don't plan a revolution. It must just happen. You can't plan a revolution. It must happen. So all these protests, August 1st to 5th, I don't really believe in it. Those are already planned. We are talking about revolution. Revolution are never planned. It happened suddenly, and people will be caught unaware.
If you are planning anything, look at this. Look at this poster, Francis. Okay. So the way it is called out, it's like protest in Nigeria. It said August 5th, day of rage. Okay. It said mobilize, organize, and stop agonizing. Lovely words, right? It said emancipate yourself from slavery. None but ourselves can free ourselves. Great. Sounds like, you know, there's a sound bite. It said, have no fear for the police NG, Nigerian army, or DSSNG, because none of them can stop the time. See, Francis, I have no location listed that says our meeting point shall be all government houses across Nigeria. That's something that you can now say, right, that's serious. Then you can look forward to the number of people that will be out.
Yes.
It's all not looking the way I think it should, but I will still support them though. You know me.
Oh, okay. Let's say it goes, my good. You know, just keep up your good work. Keep up your good work. I really appreciate your information, keeping us abreast of what's happening in Nigeria. And may God continue to reward you. God continue to reward you.
Francis, you know,
thank you very much.
And you see, when people hear about, you know what I say, before you go, I'm just saying this not just generally now, okay? You see, why people need to understand that this information that we share on here, they are not different from what you heard or the news we hear about Nigeria. You know, when we say the place is this or that, but we need to be seeing how bad. We also need to see who's behind the how bad. So that when we want to make our decisions about how bad, it won't just be like, oh, you don't bad, that country don't bad. Oh, that country cannot work again. But this time around, I have the chance of showing you how bad. And a lot of people are like, oh, I never knew it's this bad.
I'm telling you.
I never knew this. Things are this worse. And that's why all of us need to know what's going on. Francis Baba, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you. Let me allow other callers to call in.
Thanks, Baba.
Cheers, Baba.
Good one, Cheers, man. So that's a Francis from Manchester, right? So the reason why you need to know, that's why I said I do not have any power to tell you what to think or what to do. But I can help you, okay, to bring together the pieces of information you need. Doesn't mean I've been doing this for 10 years, over 10 years, right? And there are still people that even till tomorrow they will never like me, and they will never agree with me. And it's not because what I'm saying is wrong or what I'm doing is wrong. It's just that they can't bring themselves together, okay, to actually say, man, you are right. I agree with you. Now let's do something. So my job is not to tell you what to do, it's to show you and guide you when you are making such decisions like, oh, well, this is what we're going to do. You see people on this platform that will tell you confidently that, don't tell me anything. This contraption can never work. It continues to take lives and waste the future of the people. If there's anything I thought to be done, let's even start from balkanizing the place. Let everybody handle their own affair. If that one doesn't work, then let's break it up completely. People are like, because they have been able to piece together all this information and say, with these characters, come on, man, with these characters in charge of Nigeria, running a state capture and making decisions every day, that is, decisions that are affecting lives of millions of people. So it's going to take an extra bone in you. It will take an extra vein or extra thing inside you to still believe that Nigeria will work, having known the truth. There are people who live in denial. That's too much. I don't want to believe that this Nigeria is going to break. So because they can't imagine it, and Nigeria break. So what? How many countries? So what's going to now happen? So does that mean that we are not going to be this big? No way. Well, Nigeria can never break, Jerry. They will just grab their phone. Well, Mayegun, stop deceiving yourself. This Nigeria can never break. They will project it out straight away because they can't imagine it. These are people who are living in denial. And the only way to reassure themselves is that no matter how bad it goes, Nigeria will never break. One day, some people will come and fix this Nigeria. This is coping. I think it's called the coping, right? When you are trying to create an alternative, because the reality is so upsetting. The reality is so not acceptable to you. So you have to create an alternative, okay, to cope. See, well, Nigeria is just going through phase. I just believe in the power of God. I know that one day, see, the rest of the world have gone through it. A lot of things have, no. It's so different. It's so different. There's no reason for anybody suffering and going through what people are going through in Nigeria. No reason at all. There are poor people all over the world. People are going through tough times all over the world. What do you do when you have a system that is so rigged against you, right? That there's nothing you do. You're going to lose. You're going to lose more than 60 to 70% of the value that you are due to be given. I mean, I could sit down here now and spend. Well, I've been here for a few hours now. Okay, I could sit down here and then, all this hour, 3 hours I'm going to spend here as a value to where I live, the economy I live. Now, if that time gives me 200 pounds, for example, you see the value built around that 200 pounds, right? It's going to be, I'm going to be beneficial of that because a system that says, I am living in a country with a 2% inflation. You are living in a country with a 34% inflation. Can you not see how it is rigged against you? Can you not see the actions and inactions of these criminals as devalues you? Can you see how it looks like I am having a better one and you are not having a better one? We are doing the same work, or even some of you are working so hard, harder. But the reward for that, your work or your hard work, has been rigged has been rigged through the policies of the criminals who are making decisions for you. So if they continue that way, more people are going to be in poverty. More dreams are going to be shattered. And listen, more generations are going to be denied the right to experience life, to live. And that's something that you should know will never make any country last. It's just going to be a matter of time. Elsewhere, where people are facing this kind of economic problems, right? Some of their political, the political leaders and the private sector leaders, everyone who has a stake in that country are pulling resources together to make sure that their country and their people do not face anything worse than whatever they are facing. 2% inflation is what we have in the UK. 2%. It's easier for me to borrow money here and do a business. Yeah, if I have a good credit though. They will give the money to me, and then they will give it to me based on the standard that says I have to be able to actually make profit and utilize that money enough that I could pay back the debt. But you have a place where the entire, man, you know. So yeah, there are some other people who are currently organizing a solidarity rally on top of all this shege, on top of all this suffering, right? To them, everyone who is calling Tinubu out, everyone that is complaining about the state of things in Nigeria, what they are doing is that they are hating on Tinubu. So, excuse me, they've put together is, they said, Tinubu is making Nigeria great again. Tinubu is making Nigeria wealthy again. Tinubu is making Nigeria safe again. Tinubu is making Nigeria proud again. Calm down. Tinubu will fix everything in Nigeria. Nationwide mega rally in support of Ashiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration this July. Now, money, they don't mobilize money for this one. Okay? Since they have mobilized money for this one, yeah, the Nigerians that are suffering and going through hell that you are talking about, they will go out there and get their own share, 1,000 naira maybe, and they will tell you everything you have been hearing about Nigeria is a lie, but you will see it all written all over them. I promise you. When they are out, I'll bring you the clips. Yeah.
Hello, my Yagun General. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, Prince Odewale, the African Wahala. Is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Rand. So how are you this evening, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Thank you for your program. Thank you. Thank you for not giving up on the situation. The people's minds need to be worked on. I really wish more people would have access to this platform so that more people will be enlightened. And that speaks to what I'm about to talk about. If you don't mind, I'm going to share a short experience of a middle-aged man. He goes by the name Mr. Kelechi Decker. I believe he's around 50 years old, maybe 49, late 40s, early 50s. So Kelechi Decker, what I'm about to share with everybody, all of us are aware, at least most of us are aware that this is how we live. But from a different perspective, when we observe how our people think, then we can come to a realistic conclusion as to where we are going. Kelechi said, after fixing the car, I stopped at Corn Oil, Onikman, to buy fuel at 615 naira per liter. The attendant said he'll add an extra 100 naira. Why? It was the management's decision. Other people were paying, so I looked stupid for refusing and asking questions. Let me be honest with you guys. I have lived most of my life, or rather half of my life, and I am in the second half. And I have seen the world. I have paid attention to human development and societal changes across the world. I am in a position to say that we are not going to get that type of society most of us are yearning for. We are not going to get it. It's not going to happen, not in the nearest future, not with the humans that exist in the space called Nigeria. The way the people were looking at me at the fuel station, as if I peed on myself. I was shocked. And even some drivers were abusing me, telling me to drive off and stop asking stupid, useless questions. I looked at the people mocking me and I looked at myself and I laughed. Big car for nothing, they were saying. Sell your car and go and buy a Corolla if you can't fuel that car. That's what a Keke Napep driver told Kelechi. How can you rely on such minds to make such weighty decisions? That there was the argument against the universal adult suffrage in early development of democracy. You can't expect such human beings to understand such simple things, such as ideas that are beyond them. It was a situation of Indi Mka Mma Akola Mo Ono. Sorry, I butchered that Igbo. I looked at them and looked at their faces. These are people who go home eating breads of sorrow for dinner. They gnash their teeth at midnight. These are the real victims, but unfortunately, they do not know. Not knowing that you're a victim does not absolve you from the pains and suffering. You just don't know where the cane that is flogging you is coming from. It's like an invisible masquerade having a go at you. I looked at their faces and I know what I saw. I felt for them, all of them. They know not, neither do they understand that they walk in darkness. But I cannot blame them. Ignorance is infectious. Ignorance is debilitating. It is dehumanizing. Poverty and ignorance are Siamese twins. I don't want to finish the entire write-up so I don't take too much time. But the bottom line is, the average Nigerian, the average so-called Nigerian has no clue what is going on. And they are not going to protest. Forget about it. Some people are going to protest. Hopefully they influence the others that are not going to join them. But at the end of the day, what is going to happen is the hunger, because the hunger will force the people to go out there and do something. The hunger will force them to tear the whole place apart. Many people are going to lose their lives, but it's not going to be coordinated. And at the end of the day, it's most definitely not going to yield the results that we are looking for. But there will be chaos. It's not like I'm not a prophet. It's just common sense. If you put people in a situation of hunger for so long, they will fight back. But unfortunately, because the average Nigerian does not even know why they are going out there to protest in the first place, it's going to be a mess. But we'll see what happens. I just thought I'd share that with the people. And thank you so much for your platform, Mayegun General.
The African Wahala. That's a brilliant one, though, right? Thank you very much for sharing with us. Okay. You have a good
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Nice one. So that's the African Wahala, ladies and gentlemen. You see, it is true. Nigeria is a place where they enable all these abnormalities. It has become part and parcel of them. When you are being extorted by a police officer that is brandishing his gun, threatening you. I mean, police officer threatening to implicate you in a crime you haven't committed, you didn't commit, simply because you won't give him money. And then you see your fellow other Nigerians there, because you are already delaying them. Give the police officer the money and let's go. You're delaying us. And if you can't pay the money, if you can't give the police officer money, please leave the way we want to give the police officer the money. So at the end of the day, you would have to possibly just say, okay, yeah, take the money. There are so many of them that will even want to do a big man. It's a Nigerian thing. When you go somewhere and say, I'm not paying any bribe, you will see somebody who is like less to do than you. I'm talking about people you have higher economic capital, economic advantage over. And they will jump in and say, well, it's okay, take. They will be the big man in the room. Don't worry, I'll give him the money. I'll give him. Oh yeah, take. My dear, take. Oh yeah, give us the thing. People that, because it's so much like, to them, if you have money, just spend it and give it. And that is why an average Nigerian looks at you and be like, oh, you look good. And the next thing that's going on in his head is how to actually rip you up, how to take advantage of you. Then if you refuse to be taken advantage of, oh my God, they will now suddenly just change, right? Like they hated you, they despise you more than anything. It is a Nigerian thing, you say. But when it is time for them to indeed stand up, like right now, they will give excuses as well, excuses for these rogues, and tell you why they cannot be confronted. Rather, just let us go and pray that God will touch their hearts. It is a Nigerian thing, and it is debilitating. Like some will say, not just only disgusting, right? It is draining. Like you have millions of people who are victims of all these bad government and then bad government policies. But the most they do is kind of to whine, lament, and all of that. And when it is time for them to really, really face those who put them in that horrible situation, my dear, they have all the excuses not to. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Baba.
Good evening, sir.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir.
How are you, Baba?
This is Mr. Infidel.
Say that
again.
again.
I'll be one of your
Mr. What?
Mr. Infidel.
So it is the Mr. Infidel in that temple. I've
Yeah,
many times. Why do you actually call yourself Mr. Infidel? I've always wanted to ask. But thank God you fall into that.
Yeah.
Why are you Mr.
Because
Infidel?
I've been one of religious gullible for many years. But glory be to God that I get my senses
You
back.
rather kind of annoying people who call people they think are not religious.
Yeah.
Infidel. Okay. Yes.
Exactly. So it's like I'm back home now. I'm in my right senses now. Yeah, because then I can say, yeah, I really appreciate it to be at Infidel because I can see these are the major problem that Nigerians have. To be honest to ourselves, then I don't know how are we coming out from that shit. Because the problem of religion has hit in deep to the extent of if you look at it, people don't really believe in their common sense anymore.
Not their ability anymore.
Exactly. They don't think of common sense. Only what they focus on is prayer, mind, and their faith, belief, the prayer mind, fasting mind, all those nonsense. I've been in Western world for a lot of years now, but I know how things work here. I can see the major thing they use here that make their country be okay, at least for us to be comfortable, is they use common sense a lot.
It is.
But back home, we do believe in prayer and fasting, and I can see this is what religion does to people.
That's it.
You believe that prayer can move mountain, fasting reduce your ability can do, and you forget about common sense. The last caller mentioned ignorance. That ignorance will never allow our people to see the danger around them.
Which is true.
Why is that? Religion is part of it. Because some people believe that, no matter who they vote in, if me and my family are okay, God will provide for us. Nothing comes by the grace of God. Everything is inshallah.
Inshallah.
And all this nonsense, inshallah, whatever, is not working. It's not working.
You can't use inshallah to fix electricity. That's what we need to tell our people. You are being manipulated. If they ask you to pray for something they can actually do, you are being manipulated. It is time for you to stop being manipulated by these people. Okay, your religion, your faith, your closeness to God is great. Keep it, maintain it. Don't let politicians begin to manipulate you to use that your faith to come and use that to fix road. It doesn't work that way. You are being manipulated. That's why I tell people, Baba.
It's even a fallacy. Nobody can close to God. Nobody can close to God. It's God that close to us. It's God that close to us. We can't serve God.
No.
It's Him that's serving us. It's just like people just don't get it the way it is. They just don't get it. For example, I tell one brother, he's in his 60s, right? I said, brother, Nigerian can never win. And they said I should stop saying that why are we people cursing Nigeria because we are in UK? I said, no. Let's get it right. There are some unity that God don't like at all. Then I will show you in the Bible where it is that God don't love such kind of unity that Nigeria is practicing.
Yeah, there's some combinations that will never work.
Yes, because anybody that
can two or three work together?
Baba, formation of Babylon. What formation of Babylon is unity that causes it. They say, let's unite, build a city for ourselves. Genesis 11, chapter 4 is there. And that gets God angry and bring confusion among them because of their unity. Who among our leader, our heroes, that in Berlin conference, when they are creating that shit,
None.
None of us is there. And we are protecting nonsense.
And then praying
that is
that God should keep
nonsense. To be honest, that is how I know the fake pastor. Any pastor that says, let's pray for Nigeria, I know is a fake pastor.
100%. 100%.
If you go there, Baba, if you can just Google it, just Google it. Genesis 11, chapter 4. Let's build a city for ourselves. Is there? I don't write Bible.
I'm going to put it on.
Genesis 11, chapter 4. I mean, Genesis chapter 11, 4.
11, 4.
Yeah. 11, 4.
I'm with you.
What is? Yeah, it's a let's build a city for ourselves. And when you read verse 7.
I have it on my screen. Let me see if I can put that on for everyone else to see, because you are indeed just recommended that for all of us to see now, okay? Here is what I found, right? Yeah, okay, hang on. Where did I put that? Genesis. Sorry.
11:4.
You know, I have it on the screen. It's just that I'm putting the wrong screen on.
Okay.
Well, you're right. Yeah. Genesis 11:4. 11:4. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." And they
can you see that is their decision?
Yes, sir.
That is their decision. It's not God that God have created them, but some people say, let's build the city for our own, for ourselves, for their own good.
So this European,
and if you read more things,
and
it's for themselves, not for
Africa, for ourselves.
Exactly. And it's working against we that represent Nigeria.
The really indigenous people in those places.
Is working against us. So the unity we are calling God to come and help us to build is God don't have business with such unity. God hates such unity.
No.
He hates such unity.
No, there's no correlation.
So I don't know why some Christians call yourself pastor and you can't see that praying for Nigeria. If you pray to thy kingdom come, nothing will change.
They are just mocking God.
Thank you. We are mocking God. Because it's not more a news.
You get that?
It's blasphemy.
Like blasphemy. You are secretly praying for criminals to take power. Some of you are their prayer spiritual leaders. You will see the sheikh, you will see the imam, you will see the pastor, you will see the bishop. They are the spiritual leaders of these rogues, right? So they are praying for them to lead. Then they went on to go and deceive their congregation and say, listen to your leaders, because Bible says, Quran says, and all of that. So it's in nobody's interest, honestly, but yeah.
It's nobody's interest. To be honest, it's no more a news that Nigeria is the second most prayerful country in the world. So let's ask ourselves, is prayer working? It's not working.
Think you can?
It's not working. People just need to stand up.
Yeah, if they could buy God.
Exactly. They thought.
That's not right. And we can tell.
It's not right. There are some things that need common sense. To be honest, I believe that our people wake up on time before. Actually, it's getting too late anyway. The brother that I called last that said that, oh, they don't plan revolution. Fine. If, okay, this one, as we can see, they already put the date out there. Yeah, that they are planning war. Okay, let's see what will happen, because something may lead to something.
Something will have to lead to something. God bless you. That's what
something
I
have to lead to something.
I may not really kind of feel cool. You know, a lot of us, right? We are here. And somehow, this is our own protest. Okay? We spend enough time to make sure that our minds are filled with the right information and never to be manipulated by anybody again. That's our own way of protest. And every day we have been very consistent about it. But listen, when you see people who are like saying, we are going on the streets and we're going on this or that. Now, if the way we think they are planning this is not the way we want it to be, if we are not willing to go out there and organize it and do it there, just give them the support you can. Because one of these things will stick one of these days. These overzealous, corrupt, lawless criminals in Nigeria, they will have their cup filled soon. Now, if you see people coming out, that means there are willing people. Encourage them and support them until you have the millions. That's my own philosophy, sir. And I encourage everybody to do the same. Rather than feel like they're not doing it right, just give them the support.
Yeah.
Let's see how it
goes. Yeah, it's true. Let's see how it goes, because to be honest, people need to stand up.
Yes.
They need to stand up and face their oppressor, because Yoruba used to say something. One day, no, other mamas, we used to say it in church. You know what all these things will continue. It will continue. Exactly.
Right?
So, Baba, ati man so she ba wala ma fe nara wa so bo she wala ti ko she be ni o si ba ri nigba gbogbo aye ani pekun endless word. So we say something but we don't care for that. We have already said it now. It can never end. So
we are saying that this is our world. This is
our world.
And if we can make it better for our own children, then we have probably just wasted an opportunity of existing. So these criminals want to keep us in bondage, to remain that way. But we have the right to say no, because we don't have a lot of time. We are also going to die. And this world that they are making so evil, we're going to leave our children here. So we have to do something.
Yeah, Baba, because you know why I say things like this will continue if people don't rise, because there is no, don't let me take much of your time, because there is no hellfire, there is no paradise. The hellfire Bible is talking is here already.
We are already facing
paradise is here, hellfire is here.
You are so right, too, right? When you look at the description of hell in both religions, they are similar. It's about punishment. It's about cry. It's about like everlasting pain, something that is so strong, right? Then when you look at the description of the paradise and Aljana, which is like the heaven of both religions, it portrays, something like love, care, safety, praise, and everything that has to do with joy, like good life. Now they told us that until we die and not breathing anymore, we'll see both. But some of us are already seeing, we are already seeing both on that. Some are seeing the shady. They are living their hell here.
They are living, thank you, my brother. You are so correct. 100% correct.
Yes, sir.
You are correct. 100%. That is it. That is it. You see, only one thing, let me say this before I drop. Is only Yoruba. I used to say it's only Yoruba that have a better word of after death. What will happen? If someone crying now, Yoruba have the way of announcing the dead. They will say, the owner of the soul have taken. So,
finally.
It's
not yours. Use it wisely when you are here now.
Exactly. Body. So body is just a corpse.
It's just a vessel.
Exactly. So all this fire, whatever, is just
body is a temple.
Is it? Oh my God! It's just a threat.
And the moment,
fire is a threat.
The moment the soul in this body leaves, the rest is just meat.
You go back to the owner.
And now everything else is just meat.
My God.
Baba,
okay.
Infidel,
Let me leave you, Baba.
You are deeper in religion than those who want to crucify you.
Yeah, Baba, because I suffer for it. I suffer. I used to speak in tongues now, Baba. I will just say some.
Thank
all right.
You so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. All right. Bye. Cheers, sir.
So that's an infidel. Those of you who know him very well in the on YouTube, possibly you probably have read a lot of his his own views in the comment section a few times. Now he's on the phone. So I have another caller here. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Marigon. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
It's Wale calling.
That's Wale, sir. And how are you today, Baba?
I'm good. And you?
Yeah, like surviving. Thanks for asking.
Thanks for all you do. Honestly, I don't know how you do it. I keep saying it, but you, with your passion and what you believe in, it has to be, because for you to do something non-stop consistently. Nah. I give it to you.
I just want to make sure that to make sure that everyone that believes that the right thing should be done, they deserve. You see, it's like winning soul, Baba, right? Winning soul means that it takes a lot for people to say, I'm going to see things differently. And this guy has been so consistent and he's been showing it. It's high time I actually look into what he's saying. Then you took time and look into it. We're like, oh my God, this is not bad. Now we need to keep refreshing that mind, because there's so much junk out there that could easily drag you back into believing some of the lies that we all grew up believing. So yes,
exactly.
It is always worth it, and I appreciate every one of you that spends your evening with me. I do.
Baba, the thing is, as much as you are doing what you are doing, I think every single one of us watching this should be doing our own part. And what I mean by our own part is, we have friends, we have relatives, we have a family. We should be drumming what you are drumming, what we are hearing, getting them to see, because it looks like so many people are blind and deaf and dumb. They don't care. I'll tell you an example of what happened. I'm in a situation where my job, I've come across some Nigerians that they pay ridiculous amount of money to come and study here. And I use that opportunity to kind of like, guys, what is any magic that you are seeing here? You're in the classroom, you see light never goes off, you see the cleaning, you see everything in order. Is it an angel or ghost or alien that put all this thing in place? Hey, he's our leader. I said, no. I hate hearing that. We had a problem because your sister, my brother, my auntie, my uncle are part of those who are praising the agbados. So at what point are you going to say, if you don't give a shit or you tell your sister, I don't want that bloody money, you are driving a car that is even more than your salary. Where do you get it from? So let's be honest with ourselves, because those people that are ripping it off, we indirectly, directly are the one encouraging them. If you try that shit,
and when we use we, right? I'll clear something, Wale. See, when we use we, some people will be like, not me, not me.
Not
see,
me. Yeah.
Sometimes, right? Even knowing and looking away is enabling them too. There are some of us here abroad that actually have friends who are part of this political class in Nigeria.
Definitely.
That we talk to them. After watching my Egu, we still talk to them. Egu, how are you today? How is Nigeria now? And all that stuff. But because to us, maybe they are good people. But they are part of the system out there ruining lives. So yes, when you use we, when we look away, when we see them, simply because we have a relationship with them, we are enabling what is going on in Nigeria. Just to
exactly.
Wallace.
And I said to them, okay, you leave that place, you come here. What lesson have you learned? Are you not to be okay? Let's believe that the people in that Nigeria, they are in darkness. NEPA has taken light. They don't know which way. You are in the light. You can see your internet is working. You've come here to acquire knowledge. You've experienced. Are you not supposed to be telling them that, look, you people, you are suffering? You're supposed to, don't be part of it. If you can educate 1 or 2 or 3 and let them open their eyes, they will stop following these thieves. But you see them dancing. I mean, from the video you've shown, you'll be like, how come these people still have people surrounding them? They're supposed to be stoning them. But so it just makes me think, is it a curse? Like, have they been cursed? I
don't even know how to answer that, okay? Remember what people usually say. They said, Nigeria will change if they just start giving Nigeria, they will start taking some batches of Nigerians, and start taking them abroad and return them back to Nigeria. That country will change because the people will revolt against them. I said, okay, I used to say that too. If you pack any section of Nigerians outside Nigeria to go and live 3 months elsewhere and return them back to Nigeria, if you pack 100,000, if you see 100 that will return back to Nigeria, I will give you an award.
Baba, I'll give you an example.
They will japa not to go back there anymore, not to go back and fight who? That
Baba,
they should
I'll
go back
give you.
and face their oppressors. When some of
Baba,
them are already forming gang abroad, they are opening different social media handle to further defend the rogues that are enslaving their fellow Nigerians in Nigeria.
Imagine.
So that theory, they work again. I used to say that to Alex. And I'm telling people now, if you think taking them out of Nigeria to go and get here, if you pack any big vessel, Titanic, at Lagos, put one for Lagos, put one for Kano,
Baba,
you will see all of them now. They will never return. It's unfortunate, Baba.
Baba, if you want to see what you said that is completely right, go to some cities, either in UK or US or some places in Canada, dominated by Nigerians.
Yes.
You will see example of how, give them 5 years, pack all those Nigerians into this abroad. Honestly, you'll be seeing potholes, NEPA, light, and you'll be seeing thieves flying on the street. Honestly, when you go to places where they are dominated, when you see places where Nigerians are dominated, it's a shithole. You will be like, if they allow these people to dominate those areas, forget it. So it's like you're taking a leopard out of the jungle, but you're not taking the jungle out of.
Out of the Nigeria, but you can't take Nigeria out of.
Baba, honestly, me, I don't know how you do it. By now, you should have think, okay, what is his name? You ruled for 8 years. Are they not supposed to learn a lesson? You for 8 years. Is you not even better than what they are experiencing now?
Right now.
But they will never learn, I beg. I don't know what you do. Me, I just enjoy what you do, and I credit you for that. But for those people to be liberated, wow.
Yeah, check with Barakuni. Time will tell.
Okay. It's a curse. It's a curse.
It's unfortunate, man.
The person who caused has thrown the key into the Atlantic Ocean. So we look for a diver.
He's already gone.
It's one chance, honestly. All right, Baba.
Thank you so
Kudos
much.
to you, Baba.
Well, enjoy the rest of the evening, all right?
And you too, Baba.
Yes, man. So that's Wallex there. I have another caller though, but we are already coming to the end of the broadcast, okay? We currently just have about 15 minutes to go. And I promise that the moment I finish this next call, I'm only probably going to take just one more. That's it tonight. So if you are still here with us and you haven't really paid your offering is to go under that video and like it, okay? It's to show that you are here or you enjoy this. And then you can also buy me a coffee. There's a link in there to support my platform as usual, all right? And every penny actually counts and appreciated. Thank you. All hail Biafra. All hail Oduduwa. Is that you?
All hail Oduduwa. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All hail Biafra. All hail Oduduwa.
All hail Biafra. All hail Oduduwa. Good to hear from you again. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. Just listening. You know, it's very frustrating. I took a break, a long break. Just to get my mind together because this situation is it puts you in a very bad spot. Mentally.
Get to you. Yeah. I have
really can.
That now. Sometimes, back in the days, it used to get to me. You know what I mean by get to you, right? You just get so drained that sometimes when you are expected to come out, as all of you expect me to kind of be here and all that, sometimes I just get so drained that I'm like, I don't think I want to do it.
I know. We salute you for what you're doing because you're saving lives.
It can get to you. But yeah, good enough that you're back.
Yes, you're saving lives, and we really appreciate it. Though it's a bit difficult because, like the previous callers, you can try to hammer this thing in their heads. People back in that shithole, it doesn't make sense. All they put is, oh, God first, God this, God this, God this. God gave you the brain to be able to see through all the BS and uncage yourself from this bondage that they put you in. But they want to put, everything on God's hands. Oh, God. But they don't understand that they're wasting their lives, and their lives are going to be wasted because what's coming to that place, only the strong will survive. You know, the weak will be killed because something big is coming. And this so-called planned protest is a laughing joke, to be honest with you. I understand where Shore and the rest of them that want to do. It is a joke. If you want to prepare for a peaceful protest, you better prepare for a fight, a warful protest. That's what you need.
See, we need to stop this idea of people gathering, singing, dancing, talking and talking, and then go back home. That's not protest. It's better you don't even do anything at all.
No, it's not. I've been through many protests, even here in America. Protesting for the IPOB stuff and all this other stuff. People are just not taking it serious. When you go to a protest, there's no music, no nothing. You're supposed to be there, just
it's about speech,
showing.
It's about demands, and then you kind of have to begin to walk around protecting the protesters who are going to stay overnight, or if it's going to be like, we're going to stay all day out, or we're going to be resuming every day at this social point, not far away from the government buildings and all that. Now, that's something that I can really work with, right? And say, yeah, this one will be effective. But the other one is they're calling for protest, right? And then you begin to see maybe about 5-10 people coming. And you'll be like, no, this is not protest. No, this is not going to be effective. It's unfortunate.
They have captured them, but like I said, it's not too late because the only language that the zoo government understands is fire with fire. The day they grow some balls and start fighting fire with fire, if they kill you, you kill them. That's when they really start waking up. Right now, this peaceful thing is past peaceful thing anymore. They have killed enough. They killed enough of you people. They have literally. I have uncles. When I look at them, or when I go back, you just see them just withered away like a skeleton. And this is what Nigeria has done to them. People with great minds and ambitions and all that stuff withered away because of the system, become beggars, And the things that they're doing in order to earn money now, it's unbelievable. They can even sell you your own flesh and blood. They'll sell just to make money. So people better wake up, put this Bible thing to the side. You've prayed enough, and now it's time for action. Like we said, Biafra, we're moving forward.
That's right, man.
Yeah, it's going to be declared in December. Boys are getting in the trenches, fighting with them. I hope the rest of the other parts of that place could get in and do the same, because there's no more games anymore. Your life is at stake. They're killing you at will with no consequences, no, accountability or anything. They think you guys are weak, you're fools.
See them as
Yeah, and there's nothing you can do. They laugh at you. You come out like these so-called protests. They'll come out. They're like, okay, are you guys done? Now go back home.
I know.
It's like, when are you guys gonna wake up? Enough is enough. We in the diaspora, we're doing everything we can, but we still have those fools here, fighting us. Because they left Nigeria. Nigeria never left them.
No,
they're eating good and enjoying a good life. They don't want the same for people back home. They go back home, they want to act big man, running around with security and everything. Is that a life? It's not life. Tinubu is running amok of all of you. The Fulanis are running amok of all of you. All you have is just your Bible and your silly ass prayers. It's not going to get you anywhere, people.
No.
Michael, people, please hit the like button. There's only 600 likes. I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense. People need to subscribe to Rumble, subscribe to the Buy Me a Coffee, do some kind of donation. What this man is doing here is not easy. This is not easy walk. It takes a lot. It drains. We don't know the backstory to what's going on right now. With the preparation of getting the show to go. I think we gotta have like some kind of like behind the scenes, somebody like just documenting what you do, your preparation, how you do this, because this is epic. Because this is going to be history when everything is all said and done.
Sir,
we're gonna look back at Maegu, many others.
You're right.
Yes. You know,
so that
this is history in the making.
Right, when they are trying to rewrite the history as they normally do, then platforms like this will always be there to set the record straight. And internet
exactly.
You're right.
They never forget. The internet is never undefeated. You know, it's undefeated. You can never defeat the internet with facts and truth. You know, because many of them right now,
truth is in the
they're not.
You know what I mean? Some people can dilute it.
Yes.
Some people can run with a lie for so long. Truth is indestructible. And that is why we encourage people to sort of have in their kitty enough truth. So when they're lying to you, you can easily tell and say, no, that's a lie. That's a lie.
Yes.
That's why we are here. Thank you so much, man. Thank you very much.
Michael, thank you for everything that you're doing. People, please hit that like button, please. Support all his platforms because he's going to be attacked. The stuff that he's saying right now is truth, it's power. They're going to attack him. So you have to support him on all his platforms, Twitter, everything, people. All hell Biafra, all hell Oduduwa. We out.
Biafra, all hell Oduduwa. Bro, take it easy, man. Okay, you have a good one over there. As the weekend approaches, by the way. Have a good one, man. So, this is, I was thinking we could probably get to or have an extra one before I go. But my time is now so up, okay, that we would just have to call it a night now. So thank you to everybody again. Infidel, thanks for that cup of coffee. I appreciate that, okay? And same thing also goes to my own big man, C2Ju. Thanks for the coffee as well. And to every one of you as well who reached out through the super chats. Thank you. And others who have always been the Afeniferes, the well-wishers who are the main foundation of this temple, the temple of truth. Dear Templars who have always been sharing, liking, and others. Thank you. And I thank you all the time. As you thank me for always being here, thank you too for always being there, right? I'm going to see you again, right? And that will be tomorrow. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night or evening, and good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari. àní máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Máyégún diary na him be number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.